Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Power Is Now. My name is Eric Frazier. It's a beautiful day in Southern California, a great day to talk about real estate. And today we are embarking on part 2 of a 5-part affordable housing series with Carolyn Sunseri, who is the marketing director of the Golden State Finance Authority. Folks, I'm really excited about this show today. We're going to focus on the down payment assistance program, one of their down payment assistance programs called the Platinum Program. And this program provides down payment and closing cost assistance. And I'm really excited about it because we're using this program right now. In addition to being a host of The Power Is Now, I'm also a vice president and mortgage advisor with First Bank. My license number is 461807. The views and opinions that I express on this show are my own and do not necessarily reflect that of First Bank. But we are actively engaged in helping people become homeowners using the Platinum Program, down payment assistance, and closing costs. And with me today is Carolyn Sunseri, Marketing Director with the Golden State Finance Authority. Welcome, Carolyn, to The Power Is Now.
Thank you, Eric. I'm excited to be here. This is part 2 of our series, and I'm thrilled that we get to dive into the Platinum Program, talk about how it's structured, how it's advantageous to home buyers, what are the benefits, how does it work, and leave them with how to apply.
Well, you're certainly experts at helping people become homeowners using down payment assistance. And you've been at this now for over 30 years. Golden State Finance Authority has been putting people into homes. Tell us more about that.
Yes, Eric, we've been doing a lot in California since 1993. We've helped over 80,600 individuals and families to purchase homes. We've put $600 million in down payment and closing cost assistance out there in the market. And we've participated in financing over $14 billion in first and second mortgages. Now, we also have energy efficiency financing programs that have helped 32,000 individuals to make energy efficiency improvements on residential and commercial properties. And we've issued $2.7 million in taxable or tax-exempt bond financing. I have been with the company for 14 years. I am very proud of the impact we've been having in California in these 2 decades. It's very exciting to see this many individuals and families helped to purchase a home.
Wow, Carolyn. Unbelievable. I just can't believe the numbers you're sharing with us right now. 80,000 individuals and families have participated in your program. You have given out over $600 million in down payment assistance, $14 billion with a B in second mortgages and first mortgages for down payment assistance. It's unbelievable to me that you have been doing so much. Your organization is having such an impact, and you should be very proud to work with an organization that is helping to meet an incredible need right now. As you know, there is a housing shortage happening in California. Not only are prices just continuing to skyrocket, but people, just because of the high cost of living here, they don't even have the money to buy. And Golden State is making it possible. So I want to express my appreciation again for you for coming on the show and for the great work that the Golden State Finance Agency is doing. So let's take a look at the Golden State Platinum Program. In fact, why don't we start at the 30,000 a foot level and give us an overview of this program and how it works.
Okay, Eric, I would be happy to. The Platinum Program is actually our most popular program. It's been in existence for 8 or 9 years. And what it does is it combines a 30-year fixed rate mortgage with financial assistance from Golden State Finance Authority to cover the associated down and closing costs on a mortgage loan. And we keep hearing over and over studies that say that the biggest hurdle that homebuyers are facing is coming up with down payment. And so this really is that solution, or it can bridge that affordability gap by providing them what they need in down payment. And sometimes that even means that somebody can purchase a home sooner than they thought possible. Or it could mean that they have more money to put down on that on that loan and lower their loan amount, have a lower monthly payment, or it can just give them more purchasing power. So let's divide this out into the top 7 features of the program and just go through them one by one. First, 1, it's a program that provides down payment and closing cost assistance up to 5% of the loan amount. 2, it doesn't have to be a first-time home buyer to qualify. Very flexible. 3, there are very flexible income limits. You don't have to be rich. You don't have to be poor. This is a low to moderate income program. 4, there are a variety of different mortgage loan types that can be utilized. It allows FHA, VA, USDA, and even conventional financing. Number 5, there are a variety of property types that can be purchased with the product. And number 6, the down payment assistance is forgiven after 3 years. That means it doesn't have to be paid back after 3 years. And the 7th one is that the down payment assistance itself is a gift for certain occupations in public safety and education.
Wow, Carolyn, that's really fantastic. The top 7 features of the Platinum Program. And so, folks, we're about to come in for a landing now. Carolyn has given us the 30,000 foot level overview of the program. So let's drill down to each one of these 7 incredible benefits. Now, the first one you said was 5%, up to 5%, and down payment and closing cost assistance. That's a lot of money, Carolyn.
It is. And how much in assistance a borrower actually needs, whether that's 3, 4, or the maximum of 5%, really depends on their needs, sitting down with a loan officer and kind of deciding what's best for them, looking at the interest rates on the program, but also the type of loan that they get, whether they're going with a conventional loan or if they're going with government financing. 5% is actually quite a bit of money. On a $500,000 home, that's $25,000 in assistance. On a $400,000 home, that's still $20,000 that they can utilize for down payment, closing cost assistance, or even lowering that loan amount.
That's really amazing. And it is a lot of money. I mean, 5% on 500,000, which is about what you need buying in California, somewhere between 500 and maybe 600,000. That's a lot of money to come up with to save. And you're right. There are lots of studies out there showing that people are struggling. In fact, the homeownership rate in California is falling. Now, Carolyn, in addition to the money that you're providing them, is the seller also able to contribute to their closing costs?
Yeah, and that's a great option. They can utilize their own money to put towards the transaction. They can reach out to the seller and see if they can get seller contributions. I think that 6% is allowed from a seller, so that can also help towards closing costs or additional down. So that's a great way of combining, a lot of different sources to lower that loan amount and make the monthly payment lower for the borrower.
Now, will Golden State also work with other county down payment assistance or nonprofit down payment assistance programs that could result maybe in a 3rd or even 4th mortgage?
Absolutely. And we do encourage we encourage loan officers especially to look into the city and county programs and figure out whether they might fit the home buyer, especially a first-time home buyer. But you have to keep in mind that there may be stricter requirements from the city or the local housing agencies that you'll still need to follow, including if they have more restrictive income limits, for example. So it's important to kind of look into the guidelines and make sure that the two can be combined. But one of the ones that we often encourage combining, especially for a first-time home buyer, is a mortgage credit certificate. And I believe that we are going to do a segment in this series just on mortgage credit certificates, because that is another product that Golden State Finance Authority offers. And that can be combined with down payment assistance programs from Golden State Finance Authority.
Well, folks, look out for that series as well in talking about the mortgage credit certificate. But Carolyn, you make a very good point about the more restrictive requirements of county a city and nonprofit organizations that provide down payment assistance. It is possible it could be combined with your down payment assistance, but their additional requirements may make it challenging. And so the one thing though that could be added to your 5% is definitely the client's own money. And so this is just help for putting more money down, or they can get the seller to credit up to 6%. And if you combine the seller credit plus your money, it's possible to purchase a home with literally no money down.
Yeah, it is. And there's very low requirements on down payment on these mortgage products out there. I think that there is still a misconception that people have to come in with 10 or 20% down, and that's not true. The mortgage products available today, they only require 3.5% down from the home buyer. And if that can come from Golden State Finance Authority, that can come from maybe the borrower's own funds or maybe from seller contributions. It's a great way to get in with little to no money out of pocket.
Wow. So folks, that's number one, and we're just getting started. We've got 7 more to go. We're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll deal with the buyer not having to be a first-time home buyer. You're watching The Power Is Now TV. You're listening to The Power Is Now Radio. We'll be right back.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric L. Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power Is Now YouTube channel.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, you're listening to The Power Is Now Radio. You're watching The Power Is Now TV. And this is part 2 of the Affordable Housing Series with the Golden State Finance Authority. And we're speaking to Carolyn Sunseri, who is the Marketing Director for Golden State. So far, folks, she has done an incredible job laying out all the features of the Platinum Program. And we've just talked about one already, and that is down payment and closing cost assistance up to 5%. Next up is feature number 2, and that is you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. Carolyn, that has to be one of the most unique features about your program.
I think so. And personally, it's my favorite because there are oftentimes people who owned a home in the past, but maybe have sold that property, or maybe they're just looking to buy a new one, move into a new home, maybe upgrade. And this program is so flexible that whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, you can qualify. In fact, you can even have a home today that you're living in. But as long as you're going to be buying a home that you're going to be moving into as your primary residence, you can apply for the program and get down payment, closing cost assistance on that new property.
Wait a minute. Did I hear that right? I mean, that's unheard of when it comes to down payment assistance from a county, city, nonprofit. I mean, they follow the legal definition of a first-time home buyer, and that is you cannot own any real estate presently, and you cannot have owned any real estate in the last 3 years. That's the legal definition of a first-time home buyer. And so you're saying now to our listeners and our viewers right now that if they own a home right now, they can take advantage of this program. They can buy another home as long as they're going to make it their primary residence. Did I hear you correctly?
You did. That is true. And I think it's important to sit down with the loan officer and talk about that, because it does mean that you may need to go with a certain type of financing. But that's where a loan officer can help somebody. But even those people who are returning to the housing market, maybe they owned a home 10 years ago. Now they're in a place where they want to buy again. No first-time home buyer requirement.
Wow. Now, for those of you who own a property, let's be clear. This has to be your primary residence. You can't use this program to buy a second home in Big Bear, right? Or a vacation or vacation a home in some vacation resort area, right, Carolyn?
That's correct. No vacation homes, no second homes.
So you've got to live in the property. Now there may be some other requirements about the property you're going to be vacating. And Carolyn is right. You need to sit down with a mortgage professional, and I can help you with that to determine if this is a property that you probably need to sell or you don't need to sell. You can rent it out. Let's move to number 3, and that is the flexible income limits. You don't have to be rich and you don't have to be poor. It's kind of right in the middle there, right, Carolyn?
It is. We refer to it as low to moderate income. And that too is another myth. I think people hear down payment and closing cost assistance and they think, oh, that's only for people with low income. And that's not true. When it comes to going with a FHA or a VA loan, we don't have any income limits. And for USDA, it's very easy to find out what those income limits are. And I think you'll talk about that. But our conventional financing, we publish income limits, but they're not to discourage borrowers. It's just that we set up maybe more attractive interest rates for people in a lower income bracket. Maybe they have access to a larger amount of assistance, but it doesn't mean that people above that can't qualify. The income limit for conventional financing is quite high. It's in, I would definitely say moderate income. It's around 140, sometimes up to 180% of the area median income. So don't be discouraged by that idea that we may have some income limits on conventional loans. They're actually quite high.
You make a great point about being discouraged, folks. Don't self-diagnose. In fact, that's
Yeah.
why we're doing this show, so people can know the truth and not fall victim to some of the misinformation about the program. What I really like is that there is no income limit at all on FHA and VA. And so you can make, in fact, I have a client that makes quite a bit of money, and they are pre-approved on this program utilizing down payment assistance because they can. And actually, they're going to be adding money to it. So this is just an extra 5%, Carolyn, that they're adding to the money they're putting down on the property. The other thing too is that for veterans out there who, that loan doesn't require a down payment at all. And so to be able to get this additional 5% to help with closing costs is another game changer. And then lastly, you mentioned the USDA. There are income limits on USDA, but it just depends on the area. You have to go to the website. Now, you can find the website information for those of you who are watching on the screen, right? You can just go to the website, or you can Google it. For those of you who are listening, just Google USDA eligibility. If you Google USDA eligibility, make sure you click on a government link, and we'll take you to the website where you can actually see if there are income limits. In some areas, some locations, there are no income limits at all, and that's 100% financing. And in other areas, there are income limits, which could be as high as 115% of the area median income. Now, Carolyn, what about conventional loans? So we know that government is easy, FHA, VA, no limits, USDA, potentially no limits, but there may be income limitations. But what about conventional loans? Because you will provide this down payment assistance on conventional financing.
Yes. Now we set an income limit for our conventional loans, but that's, again, not to discourage people. It really has to do with what we provide to the borrowers in the lower income bracket versus what we can provide to the people in more of a moderate income. We publish the income limits on our website. So if you go to our website, you look for the Platinum Program, there's a quick link right there that will lead them to the income limits. And then you just select the county in which the property is located, and it will show you what the limit is for the people at the lower income bracket. And again, It's just a determining factor in what might be available to them through the program. And then it will also show you the higher income limit, which is the maximum limit for the program. And I think we broke out the state, so maybe we can share with people a few of the counties and what their income limits are so they can see how flexible this is. Let's see, I broke this down. We're looking at Northern California. I'll highlight a few. We have Sacramento County. The conventional income limit is $156,780. So somebody making $156,780 or less can apply for the Platinum Program. I think that's pretty flexible. Solano County is $171,720. Fresno's income limit is also the $156,780, and even Alameda County is, very flexible. $230,220 is the income limit for the Platinum Program for conventional loans. And in Southern California, if we were to look at a couple of those, let's look at LA County, San Bernardino, Riverside, Orange. Those are all at $156,780 as the income limit. And San Diego County goes as far as $166,860. And again, these are published on our website, and you can just select the county where the property is located, and you can see what the maximum limit is, or the maximum income limit for the Platinum Program is.
Now, Carolyn, again, this is just for conventional financing. So if anyone's incomes are higher than these limits, then we always have good old FHA. And if you are a veteran, you have the VA program, which has no income limits. And then you might want to look at USDA and go to the website, put in the property address. You may find that there may not be an income limit there if you want to buy in a rural area. Now let's move on to number 4, and that was various first mortgage loan types to fit the buyer's needs. And we've kind of talked about that a little bit in just addressing the loan limit.
Yeah, so we're looking at fixed rate type mortgages only, 30-year term. So all of the loans in the program are 30-year fixed rate. With the FHA loan, the required down payment from the borrower is 3.5%. So that can be covered with the Golden State Finance Authority's down payment assistance from Platinum. For a VA and a USDA loan, there is 100% financing, meaning that there's no down payment that's actually required from the home buyer. So the assistance or money that they can get through Platinum can actually be put towards the loan and lower that loan amount, lowering the monthly payment. It can also be used to cover closing costs. On a conventional financed loan, the minimum down payment from Freddie Mac, which is the conventional loan that we offer, is 3%. And so the Platinum Program can cover all of that required down payment.
Carolyn, thank you so much for breaking down the various types of mortgages that are available on this program: FHA, VA, USDA, conventional financing, and the fact that it's all 30-year, fully amortized fixed rate mortgages, folks. There's no balloons, no adjustable rates, no interest only anything. So this is a very secure, stable product. The other thing that I like about the Golden State Finance Authority's program is that they're making up the difference. So for example, maybe you've saved the money for the down payment, but you don't have the closing costs. Well, the Golden State Finance Authority can provide the closing costs. Or maybe you have saved up the money for the closing costs, but you don't have the down payment. Well, the Golden State Finance Authority can provide the down payment, either one. Now, here's the thing. If you utilize the Golden State Down Payment Assistance Program, depending on your situation, you may need additional help. You may need a family member to help you with closing costs because you don't have it. Or you may need another nonprofit. And if you meet their requirements, you can utilize their help for either down payment or closing costs. What you cannot do is use a seller credit for down payment. A seller credit can only be used for closing costs. Golden State or nonprofits can provide you assistance with the down payment. And they can also provide you with assistance with closing costs. But the seller can only assist you with the closing costs. And if you're able to put both together, you have the potential of having a no money down deal. And folks, I have made this happen for quite a few people. I have agents both in Northern California and Southern California where we have closed transactions, Carolyn, where the client needed no money at all with a combination of the Golden State down payment assistance and seller credit. Let's move now to number 5, feature number 5, and that is the Golden State Finance Authority can provide down payment assistance for various property types and units. And this is, again, another unique feature of the Platinum Program.
Yes, it is. So the program is available for single family residences, 1 to 4 units. And so that includes duplexes. It can be used for condos, townhomes, and even manufactured homes. Now, it's important to sit down with a mortgage professional and talk about any additional requirements on manufactured homes, but a variety of different property types. And, you know, this is great, especially in California.
You're absolutely right, Carolyn. And so let me just provide some highlights on these various property types. First of all, for manufactured homes, they have to be first double wide or triple wide. You cannot get financing on a single family or a single wide manufactured home. And they have to be permanently affixed to the land. So you're buying the land and the house. A manufactured home is actually built in a factory and moved out to the land and permanently attached to the land. That's what makes it eligible for conventional or government financing. It also has to meet, condition requirements, be built, I think prior to or before, after 1976. And so for more details about financing a manufactured home, definitely reach out to me. For condominiums, if you're going to use government financing, condominiums, townhomes have to be FHA approved, right? And you can go to a website and look up the condominium project and see if it is FHA approved. Without that approval, you would not be able to get government financing, but you may be able to get conventional financing. And then the same thing applies again for townhomes, condominiums, or any property like that. Now, duplexes do not have any additional requirements other than it's the same as a single family home. You just got to qualify, folks. Golden State is providing you the money, but you still need to qualify for the first mortgage. And we're going to get into those details in just a few minutes. But if you're going to buy 4 units, and this is something that is unbelievable to me, I don't know of another program that will allow you to get down payment assistance on a 4-unit property other than the Golden State Platinum Program. So the property has to qualify. It's called a sufficiency coverage ratio, which means that the property itself must generate enough rents to cover the payment. That actually makes it easier to qualify. And again, to learn more about that, reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to give you all the details. Now, let's move on to number 6, and that is down payment assistance can be forgiven after 3 years. Carolyn, I tell you, there's so many great features about this program, and all of them seem to make the program stand out among all other down payment assistance programs out there.
Yes, I totally agree. I think this is one of the biggest advantages of the Platinum Program is that the assistance being provided for down or for closing costs gets forgiven after 3 years or 36 months. And so a home buyer is not just going in with some equity in the property, but down the road, if they sell and that property value goes up, there isn't money that's going to have to be paid back or given back to the Golden State Finance Authority after 3 years. And we actually prorate that 3 years. So if something came up and somebody needed to move out of the property on year 2, then we would look at the first 2 years maybe as forgiven and then only request back 1 year's worth of the down payment assistance. So it gives them some flexibility if something were to come up in those first 3 years. But after 36 months, it's completely forgiven and never has to be repaid. Now, it comes in the form of a second mortgage, but the down payment assistance second mortgage doesn't have an interest rate. So it's not accruing any interest. There's no monthly payments on it. And like I mentioned, it's forgiven after 3 years or 36 months.
Carolyn, I'm just wondering why they even call it a second mortgage or a loan. I mean, it's just temporary. But I understand there has to be some accountability because first, you want them to move in and live in the property, right? This is not
Right.
for investors. So I can appreciate why they would make it a loan initially. But the fact that you're forgiving it 1 year at a time, 1/3 at a time, is really unique. Are you aware of any other down payment assistance programs that do that?
I'm not. A lot of them, are expecting the borrower to pay that money back at some point in the future. So this is a great advantage of the Platinum program. It's a forgivable second mortgage.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Most county, city, state programs will require that you pay the money back. They have similar features like your program. There may or may not be interest, and there may or may not be any payments, but you have to pay it back either when you sell the home or when you refinance the home, or if you move out of the property, you might be required to pay it back. With this program, you're done, completely done after 3 years. Now, the forgivability aspect of this program is very unique. Again, a differentiator in the marketplace of down payment assistance. But there is one other benefit, and this is our final benefit, number 7, and that is the down payment assistance can be a complete gift from day one. Carolyn, tell us about that.
I will absolutely do that. It's called our Platinum Select feature, and it's specifically for people in public safety and education occupations. And what it does is instead of that down payment and closing cost assistance being provided as a 0% second mortgage, it's provided as a gift the very day that escrow closes, which means that if you qualify under these specific occupations, it is forgivable down payment assistance on day one. Never have to pay it back. And we don't have any requirements concerning how long you're in the property. Those specific occupations are law enforcement, and any support staff within law enforcement also qualifies. So not just peace officers, sheriff, correctional officers, but anyone working in law enforcement or for a law enforcement agency. Firefighters, and that means people within the state fire system, maybe local fire districts, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, all of those emergency type positions, and the administrative staff that supports firefighters and EMTs. So it could even be a dispatcher, for example. And then when we look at educators, we're looking at anyone who's a part of the California State Teachers Retirement System, CalSTRS, or within the UC system, the state colleges. And we even extend this down payment gift under Platinum out to anyone employed in vocational schools, private schools, charter schools, whether they're full-time or part-time, whether they are in administration, whether they're teachers, or maybe they're even someone who works as support on those schools. Maybe they're somebody who handles yard maintenance or maintenance on the buildings. Anyone employed within a public or private school also qualifies. So again, public safety and education occupations, the Platinum program provides the down payment assistance as a gift the very day that escrow closes.
Carolyn, this is really phenomenal, and I am just I'm just amazed at the incredible flexibility that Golden State is providing with down payment assistance. First, you don't have to be any of the professions that you just mentioned here and still get it forgiven over time. But if you are a fireman or a teacher or a police officer or fall in any type of first responder education, you get that money for free day one. And that is truly remarkable. Do they have to provide any kind of proof? I mean, what do you need from them to to get the gift as the money as a gift from day one?
Well, what we request from the mortgage professional or the loan officer is to get some documentation to us of their occupation and who their employer is. We even extend this out to retired employees as well. So we're just going to need to see some proof of that employer, who they are, to keep in the file to make sure that they can qualify for this select feature under the Platinum program.
Carolyn, thank you so much for breaking down the Golden State Platinum Program. Folks, this is part 2 of a 5-part series on affordable housing with the Golden State Finance Authority. And Carolyn has just laid out 7 incredible features of the Platinum Program. And I certainly hope that you will take advantage of this money, folks. If you have questions, please go to neverrentagain.com to learn more about the Golden State Finance Authority program. You can schedule a time to speak with Carolyn directly if you would like to, or you can schedule a time to speak to me, or you can just go and apply online at applytobuynow.com. So I want to get into more details now on how to actually qualify for the program. What are the qualifications to taking advantage of this gift, if you will, depending on your occupation, from the Golden State Finance Authority? First of all, as Carolyn mentioned, you do not have to be a first-time home buyer. That to me is a game changer. So for many of you, it may be time to move up, or maybe it's time to downsize. With interest rates so low, it would be a good idea to do so. One thing that Carolyn didn't mention was the interest rates. I mean, we're closing our transaction in a couple of days here, and the interest rate is 2.6, I think it's 2.675, just under 2.7%, and they're getting 4% in down payment assistance, which is unbelievable. At 3.125, this is the note rate, by the way, just a note rate, the down payment assistance can be as high as 5%. So I don't know if there's a better time to take advantage of this money. Free money if you meet the occupation requirements, or eventually free money over a 3-year period if you do not. So you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. I would highly encourage you to reach out to me. Secondly, the property has to be your primary residence, right? Again, it cannot be a vacation home, cannot be a rental property. You got to move in that property. So if you own a home already, you'll either have to sell the house you're in or rent it out, because you have to move into this property. Now, the Golden State Finance Authority has credit overlays because, again, we're talking about FHA, USDA, VA, conventional loans, and they all have their standard published underwriting guidelines. And so Golden State does have their requirements to participate in any one of those programs. And so, for example, here are the basics. The minimum FICO score is 640. 640 is the minimum FICO score. For many down payment assistance programs, your FICO score has to be as high as 660. So with them, it's 640. Now, your debt ratio at 640 cannot be any higher than 45% of your gross income. And so we take your total debts, including the new house payment, and divide that into your gross income, and it cannot be more than 45%. Now, if your FICO score is 680, then the Golden State Finance Authority will allow your debt ratio to be as high as 50%. So you have a little bit more purchasing power if you have better credit at 680. And then, of course, you have to be a Golden State Finance Authority approved lender, which First Bank is. I'm a vice president and mortgage advisor with First Bank. My license number is 461807, and I am an expert at the Golden State Finance Authority program, and I would be happy to assist you in understanding what you need to get approved for this program. In fact, if you go to applytobuynow.com, you can actually apply online from the comfort of your home or office, run your credit report. All of this is free, by the way. I will receive a notification. You can then upload your income statements, your bank statements, so that we can determine your income, and assets, whether you have assets or not, because again, they're providing down payment assistance and the program you want to buy on, whether you want to use 5% or less money. You can do all that completely online. As soon as I receive your income documentation, your asset documentation, and your identification, I can approve your loan for this program within 24 to 48 hours. That's how fast it can happen, folks. Just go to applytobuynow.com. Now, again, if you would like more information or you would like to speak to me or Carolyn, you can contact us by going to neverrentagain.com. Neverrentagain.com. For those of you who are watching, it's at the bottom of your screen. For those of you who are listening, Never Rent Again. It's spelled just like it sounds. And why would you want to rent again when you have opportunities like this to buy a home today, now, and not later? The power is now to buy a home. It really is. And we appreciate so much Carolyn Sunseri, Marketing Director from the Golden State Finance Authority, for doing these series of educational videos with us. This again is part 2. Thank you again, Carolyn, for taking time out of your schedule to conduct these series of shows about making housing more affordable here in California.
So remember, the program is GSFA Platinum. It's very flexible, it's easy to use, it's available whether you're a first-time home buyer or not, up to 5% in down payment and closing cost assistance. If you're ready to start today, go to applytobuynow.com. And if you have some questions specifically for myself or for Eric, you can go to neverrentagain.com and talk to us there, send us a message. Again, now is the time. Look into buying a home today because the power is now.
Thank you, Carolyn. The power really is now, folks. Knowledge is power, and the power is now to buy real estate. I certainly hope that you have enjoyed this show today. And if you missed part 1, you can find it at thepowerisnow.com or on our YouTube channel or even on our Facebook page. Check out part 1. Today is part 2, and coming soon is part 3, where we're going to do even a deeper dive in all the wonderful programs that the Golden State Finance Authority has to offer. Remember, we are at our best and we maximize our success when we act now. The power is now. Thank you for watching.
The Power is Now Media is worldwide with growing audience of future homebuyers, investors, builders, developers, real estate agents, and brokers. The Power is Now Media is well positioned to increase awareness and produce results for our growing roster of advertising partners. An advertisement on any of our platforms is the right step toward reaching and communicating key brand messages to a targeted network of individuals, families, and communities interested in housing. Our content areas include feature stories and profiles on successful real estate agents, business owners, government, and community leaders. The Power is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, real estate, and programming guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate and mortgage news and information from industry experts. VIP agents are able to feature listings each week. The Power is Now TV radio podcast features weekly shows that include Homebuyers Town Hall, Real Estate Roundtable, VIP Agent Spotlight, and so much more. Each week, VIP agents have opportunities to be featured guests on the shows. VIP agents can discuss and showcase houses, neighborhoods, and provide brief introduction. The interviews are unlimited 10 to 15 minutes on each current listing. This product alone separates you from your competition. The Power is Now delivers to you market update interview to promote listing weekly, promotional biographical video, co-host a bi-monthly Homebuyers Town Hall show, featured subject matter expert on Real Estate Roundtable show, The Power is Now program guide eMagazine, The Power is Now National eMagazine, article writing and blogging, social media content customization, inclusion and press releases, graphic design services, business and performance coaching, technology support, referrals, lead generation opportunities, and management support.